Welcome to the Sports Bros Podcast, featuring the Almighty B-Live, the Money Man, Scottie D, and your host, the head of creative, Eddy Kool. And without any further ado, here they are, the Sports Bros. Hey, what's going on, world? This be your boy, Eddy Kool, and welcome to another episode of the Sports Bros Podcast. It's that time of the year. It is November, and it is action-packed with sports, and, oh yeah, more sports. Is you ready? We are. All right, and I'm joined by my co-host, the Almighty B-Live.
Oh, man. What a day to be alive. Football is in full effect. We're getting to the thick of things, especially in the college world. And listening to last week's episode, and I was right. Just saying. We'll get into it in a little bit, because there's nothing better in this world when the Almighty B-Live is right and the Money Man, Scottie D, is wrong. Wrong.
Oh, boy. And speaking of the devil, Mr. Hott-N-Ready himself, the Money Man, Scottie D.
Yeah, we'll get into that mess here in a little bit. Teaser coming up later in the show, I'm going to reveal that I have figured out who the dumbest guy in the NFL is. I'll reveal that coming up here in a little bit.
Boy.
But before we go any further, I know we're a little, as the time you're going to listen to this podcast, this is going to be a little bit late, but as we record it is Veterans Day. And my dad was in the Army, and my boss, Ryan Small, and our buddy Will Berry were both in the Marine Corps. And we all have plenty of people out there that we owe a debt of gratitude for their service in the armed forces. So I just want to say thank you and happy Veterans Day.
Yep. Shout out to all the men and women, all the servicemen and servicewomen. They risked their lives and gave it all. And shout out to the ones that did what they had to do in order to get back home. We here at the Sports Podcast want to say thank you to all of the veterans. Thank you to all of the veterans. All right, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and hop right into episode 35 of the Sports Bros Podcast. And, of course, the big game during the weekend, we're going to talk about LSU and Alabama. 1 versus 2, as they say. The two premier top-tier teams in all of college football. And the outcome was LSU 46, Alabama 41. They beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa. Wow, and they did that as well, too. All right, and then we have the Clemson. Of course, they defeated North Carolina State 55-10. We expected that. And then we had a royal thrashing of the Terrapins of Maryland by the Buckeyes of Ohio State, 73-14. And then in another key and crucial game in the Big Ten, Minnesota defeats Penn State 31-26. In other games, we got UGA defeating Missouri 27-0. Florida defeating Vanderbilt 56-0. Baylor defeats TCU 29-23. And Oklahoma defeats Oklahoma State. They one out 42-41. But, of course, you know what we're here to talk about. We talk about the big games that mean something. Nothing against the other games, but these are pivotal games. The LSU and Alabama game. So I'm asking my co-host, how does the outcome of this game affect the college football playoff ranking?
Well, I'm going to go first because I predicted this correctly.
So did I.
When? How? And what?
Who is we?
Last week on the show, just go back and listen. You'll hear me say, I said LSU is going to win.
With the fadeaway.
No, you got that one right, B-Live. Good job.
Well, I'm going to say this. The score is not an indicator of the game. LSU dominated that game, especially at the end of the first half. They were up, if I'm not mistaken, they were up by 20 points at halftime. And then Alabama did come back, clawed their way back to within a touchdown. And then as soon as Alabama got close, LSU pulled away again. And then Alabama scored a late touchdown, which was the dumbest defense I've ever seen in my entire life.
Mm.
Like, you don't let anything behind you at that point in time, because the only thing they can do is throw the ball, and you play bump and run defense with no safety help over the top. Yeah, okay. With Alabama and Jerry Judy, are you kidding me?
Yeah, of all people.
Jesus, that was dumb, the dumb, dumb, dumb. But then they still needed a onside kick. That didn't happen. LSU clearly was the better team. They came with they were sick and tired of 8 years of Alabama dominance. And I say before again, battle tested. This is the fourth top 10 team to fall to the mighty LSU Bengal Cat Tigers. And hats off to them. It's going to be quite the showdown. SEC championship. I think LSU handles business. I might have said that Georgia might shock the world, but I didn't really. Honestly, I don't see it. I really don't.
You really don't. All right, interesting take. Scottie D, what you got?
I just thought it was a pleasure to watch such a really good game, because as I'm waiting for that game, I got Ohio State on TV scoring, what was it, 70 points or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah, it was just, and all this without stud defensive end Chase Young. But go ahead, Scott.
Yeah. I hate that about college football, is those big blowout games like that, and they happen too frequently. But here you had the marquee game pretty much lives up to the billing. I mean, at halftime, like you said, LSU was seemingly taking control of the game, and you had the feeling that Alabama wasn't done yet. And man, they just kept fighting back, but LSU just wouldn't go away. They were just persistent, just kept grinding it out, and just kept putting points on the board. But clearly, the better team won this game. There's no question. And LSU, I thought, should have been ranked number one last week. They got to be number one this week. I don't care. Ohio State scored 200 against Maryland or whatever the hell they did, but I think LSU's got to be number one, right?
Oh, absolutely. Throw away the entire system if they don't have LSU number one. That means somebody. Ohio State has paid somebody, has got somebody in their pocket. And then I'm gonna say this real quick. I know we're highlighting a couple of games. Ohio State, you need to be ashamed of yourself. Like, kicking an onside kick up 14-0, going for it on fourth down up by 50 points to score.
Dabo would never do that.
See, here you go. See, I knew this. I knew you were gonna say that mess.
Listen, I'm just glad you're calmed down, because when those initial rankings came out, man, you were a little hot there. You were a little
you were just a little bit, just a little warm.
Oh, yeah. a little. I just the disrespect, but I get it. And like I said, I calmed down and I understood that it would all work out. But
it wasn't disrespect, though. It was Clemson being ranked 5 last week. Maybe you could have made a case for them being 4 over Penn State, but I mean, come on. I mean, they're like we said, they just. I was worried about you. You were really upset there.
Yeah, they were wrong, and thank you, Minnesota, for showing the world that they were wrong about putting Penn State over Clemson. Like, that made no sense. I mean, 0 sense. They were just trying to hype up. And the thing about it is, they were trying to hype up. They slept on Minnesota. They disrespected Minnesota, because they basically was like, all right, Ohio State will play Penn State later. LSU, Alabama played each other now. Just, they were wrong. Ohio State's not better than LSU. Penn State.
No, I agree with that.
Clearly is not better than Clemson. In what world, in what scenario that anybody really honestly thought, people got in a room and said that Penn State is better than Clemson?
Yeah, but you have to just figure though that just the ACC is so down. We've talked about this before.
I don't have to figure nothing.
Well, I mean, everybody on social media is trying to calm me down. Even our hot little Maxim girl I saw was trying to calm me down on there. By the way, she's still asking about me.
Oh
Anyway.
my God, Jesus.
Anyway, but you reminded me a little bit of an Ohio State fan there because a few years back, Ohio State was going and getting their annual beatdown from the SEC, and their fans were mad every time they weren't ranked higher. And I was like, calm down. Clemson's gonna have this. They got this under control. The teams ahead of them. You know, if you throw Penn State a bone and make them 4 instead of 5 in the opening rankings, you know one of them are going to come back down past Clemson if Clemson handles their business. So, anyway, you sound a lot more calm down and rational here today.
He's calm. Yes.
I'm happy to have you back with us because I know you were out there mad on Wednesday night last week. I don't feel like it was disrespect to Clemson as much as I feel like they were just showing respect to the other two conferences, just because the ACC's down, and that's nobody's fault. I mean, it's not Clemson's fault. It's just your perennial powerhouses are down. Miami, Florida State, Virginia Tech, they're all just not playing well right now, and that hurts Clemson because they don't have a stout of competition to play.
Well, Scottie D, as you mentioned, Joe Burrow for Heisman. # who else? Joe Burrow for Heisman. I'm like, man, this guy, he just went there and just.
It's his to lose. It's
his to lose. Forget Tua, forget Jalen Hurts, forget all the rest of them cats. Is from here on out is his to lose. And
he seized it, I think, on Saturday on the national spotlight. The only person other than I think give him a run would be Dabo. Oh. I can see Dabo winning the Heisman this year.
Yep, it is Joe Burrow's to lose, like you guys said at this point, man, because games like what we saw Saturday night are what makes the case to the Heisman trustee board committee or whoever votes. Like, hey, you know, you might need to consider this dude as a Heisman candidate, a finalist, if you will. So, yeah, man, LSU went in there and went in Tuscaloosa. Not an easy place to play, but went there and handled business and did what they were supposed to do and come out with the W. So I had a chance to take a look at the AP polls and the coaches polls, and from the looks of it, they both they're identical 1 through 4. LSU 1, Ohio State 2, Clemson 3, Alabama 4, and we'll have to wait Tuesday. Is that it, Tuesday?
Wednesday, I believe. Isn't it Wednesday night?
No, it's Tuesday night.
Yeah, we'll have to wait Tuesday to see what.
Didn't I watch it Wednesday last week?
No, it was Tuesday.
It was Tuesday.
Was that Tuesday? The opening night of college basketball? That was Tuesday night?
Yeah.
Yep. All that was Tuesday. Yep. All that was Tuesday. So
I wasn't even home Wednesday night. What the hell am I thinking?
we don't know.
We don't know. So we'll see what's going on with the college football playoffs ranking looks like once it comes out.
Yeah, they'll do something dumb again.
You think they'll do something dumb? What does Bilal think they'll do dumb?
Well, not put Clemson 1.
No, I'm perfectly okay with number 3 or even I want to see the committee give Minnesota some credit, and I also want to see the committee give Oregon some credit.
They are 6 and 7 in the coaches, and then the AP. Yes, so pretty much the coaches in the AP 1 through 7 is the same because on 5 you got Georgia, 6 Oregon, and 7 Minnesota.
Because here's the thing. Here's my philosophy on everything when it comes to this college football playoff ranking. Minnesota is undefeated, and they just beat the number 4 team in the country. But in the eyesight of every pollster and everybody that's known to man right now, Alabama with their 1 loss is still better than an undefeated Power 5 conference after beating the number 4 team in the country.
Can't you hear it now? Minnesota ain't play nobody. I mean, they're undefeated. They're 9-0. Like, what more do you want?
I say Minnesota stood up to the test that when they finally played somebody and won their game. Alabama, when they finally played somebody, did not. And
Yeah.
again, I'm gonna say this again. That game was not as close as the score indicated.
Mm-mm.
Minnesota should be number. Right now. Minnesota should be number 4, Alabama 5, Oregon 6. The reason why I say that is because Alabama's one loss is better than Oregon's one loss. It's close because I mean the almighty SEC and Auburn. I mean LSU is better than Auburn, so I mean that's by default that Alabama should be ranked higher than Oregon, but Oregon should be 6th. Minnesota should be number 4. I'm saying this right now. If the committee says who they are supposed to be, Minnesota should be 4th.
Scottie D, you think Minnesota should be 4th or
I
5th at
don't.
least? Or
I don't.
Of course you don't because you're biased. Give me
I'm not biased
give me a good reason why Minnesota shouldn't be up there.
because Alabama is better,
According to who?
according to me. You just asked me. I'm telling you what I think.
Jesus. This is unreal. I want to hear some
see what you
facts.
done did?
You asked me.
I want to hear some facts. I want to hear somebody explain to me what shows
Well,
that.
I also disagree with you that the game was completely dominated by LSU. They had a big lead at halftime, yeah, but then Alabama gets an onside kick, they have an opportunity to win the game. That's real. I mean, that's not just like they had a couple. They were getting blown out and then had a couple late fluff touchdowns and lost by 2 touchdowns or 10 points. They were very much in that game all the way through. It just LSU just kept answering the bell. They just kept coming back and fighting back, and they won because they're better, in my opinion. But I don't think Alabama's had a terrible game by any means. I mean, they just played what's going to be the number 1 team in the country and lost. So
You sound like every other sports analyst out there, and
Oh boy.
it gets on my nerves. I'm telling you right now.
Man, thank you. I've been trying. I've been working on it.
You've been working on getting on my last nerve. Well, you did it because it's a narrative, and it's going to end up screwing a more deserving team in the end. They're going to find some way to backdoor Alabama into the playoff without a conference championship, without that 13th game. They're going to find a way because it's just Alabama. Let's be critical of the teams, and let's look at the teams on an even basis. Let's look at the product on the field, not the name on the jersey. This is Minnesota will never have a chance.
Well, they might because Wisconsin, Michigan State are all decent teams that are going to be, they're ranked teams. Michigan State's not, but Michigan's 14th, Wisconsin's 13, Ohio State, Penn State. That's not a bad conference. They're playing in a good conference this year, but they might. I guess it all comes down to maybe not when it comes to Alabama. Maybe they'll be in, maybe they won't. I don't know. There's still a lot of football left to be played. Minnesota goes to Iowa this weekend. They could be, they could lose that game. That's going to be a tough road game for them. We'll see. We'll see if they have a letdown, and eventually the cream will rise to the top. I just happen to think, but when it's all said and done, Alabama might make that top 4, and a lot of that's going to rely on Georgia, like you mentioned last week. If Georgia goes into that SEC championship and knocks off LSU, then you're going to probably have Georgia and LSU both in the top 4, and that would be bad for Alabama.
And I have no problem with that. But once again, they're going to move. They're going to find some way to keep Georgia in the mix. And I don't think like out of the top 10, 15, 20, 25 teams, Georgia has by far the worst loss of all of them.
Yep. Lost to the good old South Carolina Gamecocks, who got thumped by Appalachian State. But it is what it is.
That is, once again, it just comes back down to an SEC bias that I'm going to scream to the high heavens until somebody finally pays attention to it.
All right, so let's take a quick glimpse of Alabama's next few games. They're on the road at Mississippi State. Then they got a cupcake at home against Western Carolina. Anybody want to predict the score on that one? Didn't think so.
Yeah, they'll win that one 100-3.
103.
They'll give a late field goal.
103. Got him. Yeah, they might have the fifth string and feel sorry for them. And then for all the marbles, we got Alabama Auburn on the 30th of November. So season winding down, and we'll see if they decide to somehow, some way have that Alabama appeal in the college football playoffs. Going from the college rankings to the pro rankings, week 10, fellas, week 10. 10 of them things in the NFL. A couple notable games to mention. Let's see. The Raiders. They defeat the Chargers 26-24 on Thursday night, and they are now 5-4. Hey, man, they might mess around and make the playoffs. No AB, no problem. The Steelers defeat the Rams 17-12. Green Bay defeats Carolina 24-16 in the snow. The Browns, guess what they did? They did something called win. The sun shines and the Browns win. They defeat the Buffalo Bills 19-16, and the Browns were predicted to win this game. Then we got the Dolphins. Rodney, Cliff, guess what? Y'all on a 2-game winning streak as you go to Indianapolis and defeat the Colts 16-12. The Minnesota Vikings defeat Scottie D's Cowboys 28-24. And the Tennessee Titans, they say, you know what? We can go in the Arrowhead and we can beat the Chiefs. And they did just that, 35-32. Now, the Steelers and Rams game is very interesting because we're talking about two teams headed in different directions. We're talking about two teams headed in different directions. As you know, the Steelers have been through a myriad of issues, from Big Ben getting hurt to the quarterback situation. Mason Rudolph getting beat up, and then I don't even know the third string guy, and then the lack thereof of star power as far as Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown. I'm not going to lie. I was one of them that had the Steelers, that counted them smooth out, all the way out. But, fellas, what do you think? Like, what do you think? We have two teams going in two different directions. So what is the outlook for both teams moving forward?
I think it's bad for the Rams. I'm not sure what's going on with that team. They that was the team I picked to win the Super Bowl. Honestly, if you go back and listen, I picked a rematch of the Super Bowl with the Rams winning, and I thought a couple of their early losses were going to be just kind of bumps in the road, and they were going to right the ship. But they looked like they were completely headed in the wrong direction. Jared Goff looks lost. On the other hand, the team that had every right to fold up the tent was the Steelers, and I enjoy the Steelers like I enjoy the gout. I can't stand the Steelers.
Wow.
Yeah, I can't stand them, so it's hard for me to give them credit. But, their fans were calling for Mike Tomlin's head, and I went on record as saying probably going to be time for a change at the end of the season. But right now, you got to say he's got to be one of the leading candidates for Coach of the Year here. I mean, the Steelers are suddenly relevant again, and they're in the playoff hunt. And they have just kind of bitten down on the mouthpiece and gone out there and gutted it out and had some nice wins here lately. Again, they're down to their backup running back from 2 years ago, Connor, is their starter, and he's hurt, and his backup has been hurt. They're doing this with backups and grit and will and determination. So I hate the Steelers, but I gotta tip my hat to them because their arrow is pointing in the right direction, and the Rams are going the wrong way.
Let me get some clarification when it comes to Scottie D and his loyalty. All right, but you're a graduate of the California
University of Pennsylvania.
University of Pennsylvania.
Yes.
Your favorite college football team is the
Pitt Panthers.
But how? Like, also, aren't you your hockey team? Aren't you
Pittsburgh?
He's Penguins. Yeah.
Okay, let's make sure. But somehow, when it comes to pro football and pro baseball, you end up
I'm a Pirates fan. Pittsburgh Pirates.
Okay, yes, that's great. So, but you hate the Steelers.
Whew! Can't take the Steelers, man.
Oh boy.
I'm just because
I'm proudly from Pittsburgh, but I'm also proudly an American, so I root for America's team when it comes to NFL.
That has got to be the most ass backwards thing I've ever heard in my entire life. I'm proud to be an American.
Yes, sir.
At least I know.
But I hate
tell you
the neighborhood Steelers. I mean, the local Steelers.
After this Sunday night game, I might be looking to see if the Steelers have room for another fan because I'll
Oh,
tell you what,
boy.
man, I am getting angry with. Anyway, go ahead. Continue on.
All right. Okay.
All right. Okay. But before we get to that, because we know you are seething, I can hear it through the phone.
Steaming,
seething. You're doing all of it.
All the above.
All the above. What it say? A, B, C, and D. Yeah, you're doing D. Anything north of D, you're doing it. I saw a stat that Mike Tomlin in the months of November and December, that's when he turns it up. And that's when he has a winning record. I think I don't know who's second and third, but he's pretty. He cranks out wins in these 2 months. I mean, it's getting cold and it's getting that time of the year, and so it's do or die, milk or mildew. He's in Baltimore. We got the Browns dipping at the heels and the Bengals. They're gonna be the first team to go 0-16. There it is. I said it. I know I made a gaffe on a poll last week, but I just want to make sure y'all's paying attention, baby. That's all. I just want to make sure y'all's paying attention, and I looked at smart and didn't look stupid. So yeah, man, the Steelers, man, they since Mika Fitzpatrick, I mean that he has 5 interceptions, and then the defense is starting to look like the Steelers defense of old, and they got a patchwork offense. They put plug and play, and you doing this, you doing that. So it'll be interesting to see what the Steelers got going on for the remainder of the season. Hey man, don't be surprised, man. 9-7, they just might make the playoffs because I don't know what in the hell happened to the Chargers. The drizzling, what's it.
Oh, yeah.
So, Scottie, go ahead, be live.
I was going to ask, because I know you're good on looking up the stats real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask, Aaron Donald, what is he doing this year?
Sleeping.
Not winning as much as last year. I know that.
Well, I'm going to say this about the Rams. They're not the first team for this to happen to. It's called a Super Bowl hangover.
You're right.
So, and it's hitting them hard. I honestly thought just because of the talent they have on board that they wouldn't be successful. They would not fall into that realm, but they absolutely have, and it's evident right now. And right now the Los Angeles Rams are looking at the 49ers and the Seahawks that are well ahead of them right now. The Rams are probably they're not going to make the playoffs.
Looks like they will not. I mean, it looks like Jared Goff has regressed a little bit, and maybe teams are figuring out Sean McVay. And I know Gurley's had the whole injury situation thing going. He's not the same guy. I just like you though. I thought they were talented enough, or they were on their way to going back. Like I said, I picked them to go to the Super Bowl. I thought for sure they were gonna turn it up, and they got out of the gate pretty good. I mean, didn't they start off also 3-0 or 4-0 before they started losing games? I mean, it didn't appear that they had that Super Bowl hangover, the first month of the season, but now they just seem like they just are flat. What, they scored 12 points on Sunday? I mean, that's
12 whole. Think about it. They scored 12 whole points. This here, pile them up, stack them high offense, all world offense, and then you can muster up 12 points against 12 points. This is not you, but be live. You mentioned about Aaron Donald's stats. He has 25 tackles, 5 sacks, and 12 forced fumbles on the season. I mean, those are. I don't want to say those are typical numbers because you figure he would have double-digit sacks by this point in the season. But
you say,
yeah, man,
12 forced fumbles.
Yeah, 12 forced fumbles. So he's doing something.
Wow, that's a lot. That's
It's
crazy.
a lot. Yeah.
Okay, my bad. Yeah, but yeah, it's
But
still.
I'm like you, be like, I didn't really, I didn't hear much. So I'm like, is this dude, is he doing anything, or what the hell? It's kind of like what's going on. So
Maybe I think the stat line FF is forced fumbles,
yeah, FF forced fumbles. Yep,
and it's at 12.
12. Yeah, I'm looking. I'm going across the. I'm looking at the other years. I'm like, okay, let's see. And then in 2018 he had 6. That year he had 20 and a half sacks. 2017, that's when he had 11 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. Let's see.
No,
So
all I know is this: is that we've spent way too much time on the Steelers and the Rams because I really want to talk about the Vikings and the Cowboys.
you know what? We moving right along to that, man. So let's go to Scottie D. Aaron Donald's doing Aaron Donald things. Let's go ahead and go to Scottie D and talk about this here Sunday night game between the Vikings and the Cowboys. I think I still hear him steaming back there. So, Scottie D, we're going to let you have the platform.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to reveal to you who the dumbest guy in the NFL is.
Beep.
And the award goes to?
Beep. Oh, I'm sorry. I was getting my censorship ready for.
Because the FCC won't let us be.
The dumbest guy in the NFL is Jason Witten, because a year ago he was in the Monday Night Football booth enjoying himself going to all these games, and he came back to the NFL so he could once again play for Jason Garrett. How dumb could he be? He wanted to come back because he thought he could make a championship run. Yet he saw it was the same head coach that he had there his entire career. And I think I quoted you guys earlier today before we came on the air of a quote from Dak Prescott. It's not the outcome we wanted, but there's a lot for us to learn from and grow from. I'm going to not say what I said earlier, but I am going to say, doesn't that sound like Jason Garrett? There's a lot for us to learn from and grow from. It's week 10. You need to learn and grow in training camp. You're not learning on the job in your 9th or 10th year coaching and your 4th year as the quarterback trying to get a $900 million contract. Dak, come on. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear, I don't know why in the blue hell Kellen Moore ran the ball on 2nd down and 3rd down after I just got done throwing 6 times, completing 6 out of 7 passes and coming down the field to lead my team to victory, and they took the ball out of my hands. That's what I want to hear. Why do they do that? That's what I want to hear. I want to hear anger and fire. I don't want to hear about looking at the film and cleaning up the film and cleaning things up and making big-time plays and doing things the right way. That's Jason Garrett speak. I don't want to hear any of that crap anymore. So this season, I was going to be happy one of 2 ways. The Cowboys are going to make a deep playoff run. I can scratch that out now. And the Cowboys are going to let go of Jason Garrett. And I am looking forward to 7 more games with this clapping clown on the side of his tail out of town.
Oh, I've been waiting for this very moment, this moment right here of this podcast, waiting to hear the money man, Scottie D.
Ooh, I feel a lot better now.
All right.
There we go. Here we go.
And I'm going to opine on this as well. Like that play call screamed Jason Garrett. Like I think Jason Garrett took the ball out of Kellen Moore's hand. I honestly believe so because
possibly, and I know that they were trying to work the clock to not give the ball back. And if you want to run the ball on 2nd down and see if you can get Zeke a couple yards to closer to the end zone and take a little time off, fine. But that third down and they run it and lose 3 yards, stupid. That's stupid. And Jason Garrett's the head coach. And if Kellen Moore's calling that play, you say no. The other guy in the backfield just completed six passes for 70-some yards to get us here. Let's keep it going. You're right. Hey. If Jason Garrett's responsible or Kellen Moore, Jason Garrett's responsible. He's the head guy. He's got to step in there.
Hey, like they say, man, it's a classic case of you got to roll the hot hand, man. In that situation, if he's cooking, keep on cooking, because apparently 6 or 7, they stopped one, but they really can't stop whatever else he's got going on. So I just keep on. I mean, you got receivers there. I mean, you got people there, so it's just keep it going. And old Jason Garrett over there, nah, we gonna go ahead and run the ball. No,
I will tell you, the team with the better offensive coordinator won that game on Sunday night, because a week ago, the Cowboys, last Monday, they did a pretty darn good job on defense of shutting down Saquon Barkley. Mm-hmm. And Dalvin Cook looked like an absolute beast on Sunday, and especially the second half adjustments they made. They just ran the ball down the Cowboys' throat. The defense couldn't get off the field on third down, and kudos to their offensive coordinator, man. I don't know the guy's name. I apologize. I probably should have looked that up before it came on the air. But that dude, maybe he'll want a job in Dallas coaching a team next year, because he got a good win in Dallas on Sunday night.
Hey, I mean, at this point,
Vikings look good.
Yeah, man. As far as the Vikings go, I'm like, man, that damn. The thing with Dalvin Cook was with health issues. And think about it, they're doing all this without Adam Thielen, because Adam Thielen has a hamstring issue. They're just it's that, like I said, fellas, it's that time of year where the teams just start clicking and everything start making sense. And they might make a run, man. They might just make a good old run in their playoffs, man. It's just
they'll make a run, and the Cowboys are going to learn and grow. I'm looking forward to the learning process and the growth that I see going forward. That's what I'm excited for.
Dude, I don't know I don't know how you do it though. When it comes to Jason Garrett, because I just never hear any fire, any passion, like ever with this guy, and it was like, just way too much talent has flowed through Dallas.
Too much talent. Entirely too much.
For him to still have a job. I mean, they got rid of Jimmy Johnson, and I think he was one of the best coaches of all time, because they had a losing season. But, I mean...
No, they didn't have a losing season. He won the Super Bowl and got fired. Jason Garrett can't win a playoff game 10 years. What kind of sense does that make? That's Jerry Jones' ego. That's all that is.
None. The offensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings is Kevin Stefanski. Stefanski, whatever it is. They got it clicking up there in the land of 10,000 lakes.
They're playing good, so
they play some good football.
Good for them.
Yeah, good for them. Good for them. And as we mentioned, Cliff and Rodney, your Dolphins they're on a hot streak. They're not taking for Tua or Burrows.
Okay, but I'm gonna put a pause on that real quick, because they don't be celebrating because the Dolphins played the third string Indianapolis Colts.
The whole team, he said. He said the whole team was third string.
The whole team's third string. Brian Hoyer?
Yeah.
So let me see if I can get this correct. We are now down to Tom Brady's backup, and Indy right now, because Brian Hoyer was Tom Brady's backup. Jacoby Brissett was Tom Brady's backup, and now Jacoby Brissett got hurt, so now backup of the backup to the backup of the backup from the backup, but the Dolphins won. I'm sorry, that's my 2 cents. But
the whole Dolphins team's backup pretty much. So they're playing hard, man. They've played the times I've watched the Dolphins play this year. They play hard.
Now, quick question: Did the coach get a Gatorade bath this time?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Jesus Lord! All right,
just the Gatorade bath. Yeah, Bilal was not a fan of the Gatorade bath. Bush League, he said.
1-7. Like, who does that ever?
That goes to show, hey, we won't have that dubious distinction of being 0-16. Not gonna happen. All right, with that being said, we're gonna put a bow, a pin, some duct tape, packing tape on that, and that's it for week 10 of the NFL.
And now, our favorite part of the show, the choices of the voices.
And thanks once again to the wonderful and lovely Miss Button for the choices of the voices intro. You heard what the woman said. It is our favorite portion of the show. And from the looks of it, it is our listeners' favorite portion of the show as well, too. We got some choices of the voices all-stars. We got a few newbies on here as well, too. Let's not BS and procrastinate and lollygag. Yeah, I said it be live. Lollygag. Any further? What was the question, Scottie D?
From your favorite college football team, who is the best NFL player to have played?
All right, we got some great ones here. We're going to lead off with terrible Pete Talansky.
Penn State guy.
Yes, sir. He said the best player from Penn State, I would have to say Franco Harris with Jack Ham, a close second. Sorry, Scott. They're both Steelers. He just had to put that in there. Just had to put it in there one time.
Yeah.
Let you know.
Yeah, and that was part of my hatred for the Steelers growing up was those two guys. But Franco Harris, 4 Super Bowl rings. Jack Ham, 4 Super Bowl rings. Hard to argue with either of those players.
Yep, you cannot argue. Trey Duke, he said, it's a no contest for me. My absolute favorite college player is Hingle McCringleberry from Penn State. Nobody could make a touchdown celebrating more exciting. B-Live has done some research on the Mr. McCringleberry.
Research as in I watch TV. But Trey Dizzle, you an absolute fool because you've got to look up. There's a couple of clips from Key and Peele, and there's one where he does the excessive celebration with the hip thrust. Like if he could do 2 hip thrusts, but if he does a 3rd hip thrust, he gets called for a flag. So
wow.
You just gotta look it up. Trey Dizzle, you're a fool. Anyway, we can never take you seriously. All right, cool.
I'm like, you know what I said? We gonna need a little quick laugh. So shout out to Trey Duke for the ha hee hell and everything else. All right, we got Mike Davis. He said, "Man, that's tough. I'd have to say Dan Marino, Larry Fitzgerald, or Curtis Martin are all a tie. Pitt Panthers. Okay, so we're keeping the score. Ooh, that's
There's a few Pitt responses this weekend.
Oh yeah. That's some tall cotton, man, between Marino and Fitzgerald, and all 3 of them are good. So I see, I can understand why he couldn't pick just one. So he couldn't pick just one. It's fully understandable. Uncle Max. Anybody check on Uncle Max after Saturday night?
I have not.
Yeah.
You got that one, Scottie D.
I saw him put a gracious concession on Facebook. Yeah, he was gracious about it. From what I remember, but Uncle Max is Bama through and through. Who did he go with there, Eddy Kool?
Let's see. There are many players I can mention, but I'm going with a non-glamour position. He said John Hannah may be the greatest offensive lineman ever to play at both college and pro levels. He was a beast. Roll damn tide in big letters and exclamation points and stuff like that.
Yeah, John Hannah, I think, played his whole career with the Patriots, if I'm not mistaken. Interesting pick from a Bama diehard, especially considering Joe Namath went to Alabama, and he's Broadway Joe. He's like one of the most famous quarterbacks of all time. Ken Stabler went there as well. I think Johnny Unitas. Was Johnny Unitas an Alabama guy? He was from Pittsburgh, but where did Johnny Unitas play college football?
Johnny Unitas, I can look it up for you right fast.
But I just want to make sure. Maybe you said there.
He went to Louisville. I'm sorry, Johnny Unitas went to Louisville.
Okay, yeah, because I just can't I just don't see what's synonymous between Johnny Unitas and Alabama.
Yeah, no, but Joe Namath and Ken Stabler were both Alabama quarterbacks.
Nope, he sure was.
Now,
okay,
John Hannah, interesting pick. I like that.
I got a question. Is this a good time for a song selection? Because I'm sitting on the dock of the bay.
Here you go.
Watching the tide.
He been waiting on that one.
Yes, Lord.
He been waiting on that one.
Sorry, Uncle Max. I love you. But that, yeah.
Yeah, you crazy. Yeah, looking up John Hannah, he played tackle and guard at Alabama under Paul Bear Bryant from 70 to 72, All-American twice. And he spent his professional career with the New England Patriots. Yep. He excelled as a pass protector, run blocker, and pulling on guard sweeps. Yep, John Hannah. It was a not so glamorous pick, but it's a good pick, Uncle Max. Very, very, very good pick. And let's see, I'm reading something here that says, in '99, the Sporting News ranked him as the second greatest offensive lineman in NFL history after Anthony Munoz. So that says a lot. So,
yeah,
it says a lot. So if you after Anthony Munoz, you done. In the words of my mom, you done did something, baby. You done did something.
Yeah.
All right, moving right along. We got Frankie Bellamy. Almost said Frankie Beverly. You make me happy. Almost did it. And Frankie selected William the Refrigerator Perry from B-Live's Raining. From Clemson.
All roads.
Something. Oh.
All roads. Even though he didn't play for Dabo. That's all roads.
Mm-hmm.
All right, with Dabo.
There we go. I'm waiting on it. You started. I'm like, B-Live, you put the car, you turned the car on and put it in park and neutral. And if you're going to go all roads lead to Dabo, all roads lead to Dabo. Some people might forget. But Frankie, great choice. So William the Refrigerator Perry. All right. Then we have Martin Tracy, Matty Ice. I've never had a favorite college team as I am from Boston. I don't think they have college football. Oh, wait, my bad. There's BC. So I guess Doug Flutie. Okay, good choice. Yeah, good choice. Doug Flutie. I would have said Matt Ryan and even Luke Kuechly at this point. Yeah, from Boston College. Luke Kuechly, linebacker for the Carolina Panthers. Wheeler Hawks said Lawrence Taylor from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Will Berry says Sterling Sharp, a.k.a. Shay Sharp brother, from the University of South Carolina. Corey Logren, this is an interesting one. I had no idea where he came from. Larry Ogunjobi from UNCC, a.k.a. the University of North Carolina at Charlotte, or just plain old Charlotte. All right, let's see. Mike Clardy selected Fast Woody Dancer from Clemson.
All roads.
Yep. Cliff Lewis, he also selected LT from UNC. And Corey Payne, he selected Brian Dawkins from Clemson.
All roads.
Let's see, did I miss anybody? Rodney had one in here, but I couldn't find it at the moment. I don't know what the hell I was doing, but Rodney did mention Woody Dancer. He did mention Woody Dancer from Clemson. I do remember that much. Hey, my bad, Rodney. I was trying to put everything together, and I thought I got you in there, but I didn't. But I did say, I did remember seeing you saying that Woodrow Dancer from Clemson.
Was I the only one that didn't know that Lawrence Taylor went to North Carolina?
You might have been the only one.
When Cliff said that, I was like, he did? Wow, how did I miss that? Now, I'm going to be paying attention sometimes, but freaking Lawrence Taylor. And I want to say one thing with Frankie's answer with Refrigerator Perry, because I was watching the Clemson game, and Clemson caught a little bit of flack because we took our offensive lineman and put him in a running back position to punch it in at the goal line. And somebody said, "Oh, that was disrespectful." I'm like, Clemson's been doing that since the 70s with the fridge. He's been doing that. So that's nothing new when it comes to Clemson. We've been doing that forever.
Well, when Refrigerator Perry did it in the Super Bowl, the disrespect was pretty much, everyone said, was geared to Walter Payton because he should have got the ball on the goal line. Wasn't at that point as much that they were disrespecting opponents. It was just that Walter Payton should have got a touchdown in the Super Bowl when they were blowing the Patriots out of the water, and Ditka elected to go with the fridge instead. A decision he admittedly regrets to this day.
Yeah, I heard of that was I heard that was one of the not so bright spots of that Super Bowl team. of that game. Like, it's kind of, hey, you got all world sweetness back here, and you want to give it to the fridge. I mean, I get it, but it's like, come on, man, what are you doing? What the hell are you doing? It was almost to a point to where I guess they said where Peyton was like a non-factor in the Super Bowl almost.
Well, it wasn't he was a non-factor, but it was just that they were so dominant in that game, and they had a few opportunities to score from the goal line, and I think Jim McMahon kept it on a keeper to score one time, and then late in the game, they should have just given it to Walter Payton for all the time that he had been there. Instead, they went with the fridge and had the big funny moment where he scored and spiked the ball, but it should have been Walter Payton, and that just left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. And again, I remember watching the documentary on the Bears and Ditka saying to have the do-over again, he would have probably done it differently, because even Walter Payton was subdued after winning his first Super Bowl because of that. But that's a whole different topic. But that's where a lot of the controversy about the fridge on the goal line comes from, is that Super Bowl 20.
Okay. Oh, good news. I found it. Rodney, I found you, buddy. Found you. Rodney Bellamy said, out of Clemson, and I kind of like this list too. I like this list. Funny, me liking something orange. He said the best to come out of Clemson is DeAndre Hopkins. His favorite is C.J. Spiller, and the GOAT, good old Woody Dassler. Yeah, he's a Woody Dassler. He's a Woody Dassler guy. Yeah, that he is. So that was Rodney's selection for the greatest player from your favorite college university. Scottie D, who you got?
Interesting, because some of my candidates were already listed. Mike Davis listed a couple. He said, who did he say? Fitzgerald Marino, Darrelle Revis was a Pitt Panther. Tony Dorsett was a Pitt Panther. Ricky Jackson, Hall of Famer, went to Pitt. Mike Ditka played at Pitt.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so Pitt actually has a few to choose from. Aaron Donald's, he currently in the NFL. He's a Pitt guy.
Yeah, I saw you guys have a conversation about that too.
Yeah, we were kicking around. I mean, when you're looking at among the best ever. All right, and this is an interesting stat in the top 10 leading rushers in NFL history. The only school represented twice is Pitt, and that's Tony Dorsett and Curtis Martin. Curtis Martin's number 5 on the all-time leading rusher list. So Curtis Martin's another candidate. But for me personally, I'm going to have to say it's Larry Fitzgerald, because he just, I know Dan Marino kind of elevated the passing game, and he was kind of a pioneer of the slinging around. But Larry Fitzgerald's a guy that we talked about this before, about how he's never had a dominant quarterback over the long term of his career. A couple good years with Kurt Warner, a couple good years with Carson Palmer. But everybody knows Larry Fitzgerald's their weapon, and he still makes great plays. So he's going to be my choice as the best NFL player to come from Pitt. Larry Fitzgerald, love him.
Second all-time on the all-time receptions list with 1,353. And he only trails some dude from Mississippi Valley State by the name of Jerry Rice. Excuse me. As I said last week, if you ever get a chance to go on YouTube, please check out the NFL Throwback channel. I watched the career highlights of Randy Moss, Jerry Rice, T.O. It is good stuff. Good stuff, man. The NFL really does a great job when they come to putting those packages together. I watched Ray Lewis, Ed Reed. I just sat there for like an hour, like, oh man, this is great. That Jerry Rice piece is like 30 minutes, but you wouldn't even know it's 30 minutes. But it chronicles his whole entire 20-year career. It's great. Must watch. The Almighty Be Live. Who you got, brother?
Oh man, I am ecstatic. I'm loving life right now because there was so much Clemson representation when it came to the choices of the voices, and I applaud because all of those were great answers. But come on now. The greatest player to ever come out of Clemson, my favorite, like literally right now, I'm like, come on. Deshaun Watson?
Okay.
Nobody said Deshaun Watson. Are you
Well,
kidding
he's
me?
No one
early in
said
his
Deshaun
career,
Watson.
though. He's still early in his career.
So what? He's still early. He's still early in his career, and he's like already in the talks for MVP, and he's lighting up the stage. And mentioned with DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, that's such a love it, love it.
I'm just,
But yeah, like,
I'm just glad he's healthy. I'm just glad he's
and
healthy and
I
upright.
and I'm gonna give honorable mention to the guy who caught the pass to win that national championship, Hunter Renfrow. I'm like really excited to see how far how far he goes in the NFL. He's got 2 touchdowns now, if I'm not mistaken, just from walk on to the NFL. I
What
mean,
about
Hunter Renfrow.
Dwight Clark or Brian Dawkins, though? Those guys had outstanding careers.
Yeah, Dwight
Dawkins is
Clark
a
can
Hall of Famer.
catch.
Oh no, I'm not to discount any of the other guys. I just like, I don't know. I'm just, I those guys. I was a little young to watch and didn't really follow their careers. I've actually gotten a chance to completely follow Deshaun Watson's career, even from high school to college to the pros, and just watching his maturity. He's an upstanding citizen. I mean, philanthropist. I mean, just he's a great overall person to watch and enjoy. So I mean, that's why he is my favorite.
Cool.
You asked the question. That's my opinion. Don't be just second guessing my opinion.
Well, I'm not.
Like,
It's
just
not that
putting
I'm
on
second guessing. I'm just suggesting that Hall of Famer Brian Dawkins at this point had a better NFL career than Deshaun Watson. Not that Watson won't, but
what I'm saying. What? Okay. Let's rewind real quick. Let's rewind a little bit. And so, Scottie D, what was the question for the Choices of the Voices segment last week?
who is the best NFL player from your favorite college football team?
You said the
Yeah.
best? You said the best. Deshaun Watson. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. That's my opinion. But
Hey, I tell you what, B, I'm going to throw another for you. Charlie Waters. You know who he is?
No.
Charlie Waters was a defensive back for the Dallas Cowboys, 3-time Pro Bowler, 2-time Super Bowl champion. That played for Clemson back in the 70s. Very good player.
oh my goodness.
Yep.
I'm having a brain.
Number 41, Charlie Waters.
Yep,
that's him.
And let me just be off topic real quick, but I just want to give you a quick little thing, a quick little story about Charlie Waters. So when I was growing up, he was, I was still a kid when Charlie Waters his career was winding down for the Cowboys, and one of my neighbors that lived up the road from us, it was an older guy and his daughter. They were also big Cowboy fans, and her favorite player was Charlie Waters. Well, she never got over the fact that he retired. She just was always sad that Charlie Waters retired. And his last game was the catch game, where obviously Dwight Clark, another Clemson player, eliminated the Cowboys. Well, fast forward into the right around 2010, 2007, 8. I saw that Charlie Waters had a book that he released. And so I wrote to him and asked if he could autograph this book. And I bought the book and asked if he could autograph and send it to this lady that lived up the road from me. And he did that. And it was really nice that he did that. And that was one of the best Christmas gifts I've ever given. I mean, it brought her to tears when she saw that the book was from Charlie Waters to her. So that was a pretty cool story just to get a little bit off topic, just giving you some early Christmas ideas if you want to go get some autographed memorabilia for some friends. But Charlie Waters was a really good NFL player again from Clemson. I think when he was at Clemson, he played quarterback and receiver, and then transferred to played in safety in the NFL.
Nice,
great
nice.
Yep.
Yep, Charlie Waters from Miami, Florida. He went to school. He went to high school in North Augusta. Yeah, North Augusta, South Carolina. All ACC in '69, 2-time Super Bowl champion. This, that, and the third. Charlie Waters. While you guys were talking about Charlie
Uncle
Waters,
Max will remember him. He's probably wasn't one of the show that'll know who we're talking about here. But
yeah, because Charlie Waters is 71 years old.
Yeah, I just realized that guy I just recently met. I forgot. That's what I was having a brain fart about. Donnell Wolford.
Yeah.
Played for the Bears.
Played for Clemson. played
I
for the
met him before
Bears.
too. He was at overtime a few years back.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I was on when I was flying. I was flying from Charlotte to Atlanta. I met him, and he's also. I reside in Fayetteville. He's a high school graduate from Douglas Byrd right here in Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Wow.
So
See,
that
Clemson been getting talent.
Oh yeah,
they've been getting talent. All right, so it's my turn. Let's see. There's came out of the University of South Carolina, including the Heisman Trophy winner George Rogers. He had an okay career. I'm not gonna lie to the NFL, but
he got off to a really good start though. His first couple years, he was really good.
Yeah, he was rolling.
He was really good. I know you guys are probably a little bit young to remember that, but George Rogers was very good his first few years in the league.
Yep. But I have to agree with there's a few I picked from the University of South Carolina. Will Berry, he took one of them. Sterling Sharp, and I mean Sterling Sharp did most of his damage during his junior season in South Carolina, where he had 74 receptions, over 1,100 yards, and 10 touchdowns, and he averaged 14.9 yards per catch. So he was burning them. So I would have to say Sterling Sharp, George Rogers, and then what's another? I would say Stephon Gilmore from the University of South Carolina. I mean, there's been talent in and out of Willie B, but those three come to mind when it comes to top tier NFL talent from the University of South Carolina. Let's be like
I'm going to tell you this: there was a time that Sterling Sharp's name was in the conversation with Jerry Rice and Mike Wervin as who is the best wide receiver in the NFL right now. Back in the early 90s, Sterling Sharp was every bit as good as any receiver to put the helmet on and get on the field. He was outstanding. I hate to this day that his career got cut short by injury because he was a Hall of Famer, man. He was going to be a surefire Hall of Famer. His name gets, I think, lost in the shuffle and forgotten a lot about because of his how short his career ended up being. But man, he was something else. He was outstanding.
Sterling Sharp, man, yeah, he was. Wasn't he Brett Favre's original target?
He was.
Yeah, so just imagine, man, just like we sat here last week and talked about what could have been with Matthew Stafford and Megatron. Just think what could have been with Sterling Sharp.
Yep.
OMG, as the kids say nowadays. So, yeah, that is it for my selection. Scottie D, what is the question for next week?
Oh, we're gonna do it again next week. More choice of the voices. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, more choice of the voices. We're gonna do it again.
Let's do it again next week. Next week we're gonna stick with the NFL and kind of the same theme, but I'm gonna ask you, what is your favorite NFL team and who is on the Mount Rushmore of your NFL team? Your all-time 4 best players from your NFL team. I know that kind of got kicked around on ESPN before. Again, we're stealing that one. We just want to know who do you consider to be your Mount Rushmore for your favorite NFL team?
Scottie D, I must say, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Lots to think about.
Especially
if you're Carolina Panther fans. You got Shaminga Biaka Batuka and Steve Berline to choose from. Wesley Walls.
Steve Berline. Wes Walls, 85.
Well, Jason Garrett is going on.
He's going on a couch. Yes, he is.
Since you got jokes.
Yes, Jason Garrett's on my Mount Rushmore. There's a spoiler. There's already one. I got three more to go for next week.
You know what? I got a couple more I'm gonna throw out there. I'm gonna throw out there Randy Gregory.
Yes.
Yeah. And one that both of us can throw up there. Throw Greg Hardy.
Greg Hardy. I was about to say Greg Hardy.
Greg Hardy took a loss the other night, by the way.
I was about to say, yeah, he just took a loss. Yeah. So we need to do something to uplift him or something. Because we don't want him to come beat us up. I hit him with a baseball bat. I'm not trying to get by that joke. He must be crazy.
You know what? Hey, Scottie D, if it's okay with you, we'll do the top 4 on our NFL teams this week, and then follow it up next week with the bottom 4.
Okay. Okay.
I like that. I like that. So next week we got the Mount Rushmore, and then we got the anthill the following week.
I like it.
Oh,
I like it. We're good. That gives us all something to think about for the next 2 shows, and that's good. I like it.
nice.
Kind of like my job. They make schedule for 2 weeks, so get it in when you can. All right, that's been another edition of the Choices of the Voices. And guess what? We're rounding around third base. We gonna slide our way into home base. You know what that means, don't you? It is Pepper. 1, 2, 3 stop topics that that either went overlooked or something that we just want to tell y'all anyway. Rapid fire style, kind of, sort of, not really. But we just gonna talk about 1, 2, 3 things, okay? Without sneezing and without hitting each other without the ball. And I will go first. My first pepper point goes out to Kalen Bennett. He is a basketball player at the University of Kent State University. And he's the first autistic player to score in an NCAA basketball game. With all these scandals and people getting suspended and not playing everything, this is a good feel-good story for college basketball for a good start of the season. So keep on balling, Kalen. Keep on balling. A native of Little Rock, Arkansas, living out his dreams and not letting any kind of health impairment stop him. Yes, sir. Keep going, fella. All right, Scottie
Nice
D.
story.
Ball goes
Nice
to you.
story there. Yeah.
Yes.
So there were some rumors going around last week that the new Florida State head coach could be Deion Sanders. His name was being thrown around there. I think Ian Rappaport reported that. And last night I was watching NFL Network, and Chris Rose asked Deion about it. And Deion said that he would like to coach at the next level, but he didn't. But he said he had no contact from Florida State. Deion, stay on TV, brother. You're good at that. I mean, can you imagine Deion Sanders putting in all the time and effort to run a successful Division I program? Can you imagine Deion Sanders showing up at someone's living room and trying to talk some kids into coming to Florida State? Because I really can't see that. I think Deion is doing what he needs to do, making some money by watching football and talking about it. And if I'm Deion, stay put, brother.
Must be the money. I need it in my life. Oh man, good old Neon Deion. Oh, by the way, he has a highlight package on NFL Throwback that's worthy of checking out too. I think I watched it twice. Deion.
Go ahead, be live.
All right, I'm gonna put a little spice on this real quick, and I'm gonna follow up at a later time. But the story in Memphis basketball with James Wiseman accepting benefits, and it will probably be ineligible to play because Penny Hardaway threw some money his way for his mom to move, or when they relocated from Nashville to Memphis. And the NCAA basically said it's a violation and he's ineligible. Penny Hardaway said he doesn't care and he's bringing the fight to NCAA and is going to play James Wiseman anyway. Wow. And for those that may not know, James Wiseman is 7'1", phenom in Memphis. I mean, this guy, watching him play, he will be in the pros, period, point blank. This guy is phenomenal. He's going to send shockwaves. I wouldn't be surprised if he went like number 1 pick. But yeah, for a program to take on the NCAA in this fashion, this is going to be interesting. I will definitely follow up on this story. Eddy Kool had the ball.
Yep. And Memphis already has a history with NCAA violations. Just ask Calipari and Derrick Rose and that whole kerfluffling. But yeah, I hope he sticks it to the NCAA. Really, I hope he does. I really hope he does. Because I'm tired of them. I'm tired of them. The NCAA is like an ex-girlfriend. I'm tired of your ass. I'm tired of you. Got to get you out of my life. All right. Second pepper point goes out to Carolina Panthers future Hall of Fame tight end / color commentary guy, because you know where he's going after that. Greg Olsen. Greg Olsen last night, which is Sunday. By the time the show airs, it's Tuesday. But what he did Sunday, he reached an important milestone, 700 catches in his career. And he is tied with Joey Galloway at 701. See, he got that +1 last night, too. So Greg Olsen is tied with Joey Galloway for the most career receptions. By the way, Greg Olsen is a tight end. Just thought I'd throw that in there just in case people forgot. Yep, so let's see. He trails Marcus Colston, and up next he trails Demaryius Thomas, who's also active.
Nice.
You know who else is a tight end? The dumbest player in the NFL.
Speaking of that guy, he's fourth all time in career receptions with 1,188. I think he's stat pen at this point.
Yeah.
All right, Scottie D, over to you, sir.
All right, so I was looking at the UFC schedule, and I saw that upcoming on the December 7th is Alistair Overeem, heavyweight, and he's going to be taking on, forgive me if I botch the first name, Jairnjo Rosenstrike is a dude's last name. And Rosenstrike, I watched just a few weeks ago, destroy Andre Arlovsky. This brother's got some thunder and lightning in his hands, and if he hits Overeem, it's going to be curtains early. But it made me wonder, why is Rosenstrike fighting again already so fast? And I come to find out that Overeem's scheduled opponent, Walt Harris, his stepdaughter has gone missing, and an arrest was made in her disappearance. And she has not been found, but the guy who has been arrested has been in trouble for this type of thing before. And, man, I'm hoping we get a good, happy ending to this story, but it's a bleak story right now that UFC fighter Walt Harris's stepdaughter has gone missing. So I'm just hoping for the best. I mean, I love watching UFC, but that'll be on my mind whenever I watch that fight on December 7th. So not the most fun point I make, but I just wanted to bring that out there. What this family could be going through, missing their loved one at this point. Over to you, B Live.
Yeah, hoping and praying that he finds her alive.
Prayers, absolutely. All right. In homage to Veterans Day, again, we're recording on Monday, releasing on Tuesday. My beloved Naval Academy midshipmen have cracked the ranks at 21. And coming up next for them is Notre Dame. Storied traditional rivalry. And I will be rooting for the midshipmen. Man, I would love to see Navy take down Notre Dame. I mean, it is what it is. So, I mean, and I the utmost respect to all of our armed forces, everything. It'll always be go Navy, beat Army for me when it comes to the rivalry, and beat Notre Dame. Let's get it. Go Navy. Eddy Kool, have at it.
All right, my third and final pepper point goes out to a gentleman that I mentioned earlier, Minkah Fitzpatrick. Could Pittsburgh be in the midst of the Minkah Fitzpatrick effect? Because since he's joined the team, they are now 5-4. They've been winning games, and they've been making some waves, man, making things happen. Because as we mentioned earlier, man, a lot of us, count the Steelers out, left them for dead, but they managed to pull everything together. They are currently on a 4-game win streak, and he has 4 interceptions since being traded from Miami to the Steelers, and he got 2 against the Dolphins. They played his former team a few weeks ago. So if you look at the division standings, Baltimore 1, the Steelers 2, Browns 3, and the Bengals over there in the corner somewhere. So, making those midseason trades are paying off. It's the Minkah Fitzpatrick effect for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Scottie D, since you don't like the Steelers, I'll just throw the ball to you in.
Well, thank you. I'm going to shoot this one because I want to say congratulations, shout out to James Harden. Last Wednesday night, the Rockets put a whooping on the Golden State Warriors, 129-112, and he scored 36 points. The Warriors are 2-8 this year, so I just want to congratulate James Harden for beating those uniforms. I know the good dudes ain't in them, but it had to feel good just to bury those Golden State Warrior uniforms last week. What a difference a year makes. The Warriors, man, they're 2-8. They're not going to make the playoffs.
So you mean to tell me when KD went on First Take to go spill the tea, you mean to tell me that Draymond Green played a role in him leaving.
That
Of all
thin-skinned
people,
dude, Kevin Durant lets everyone and everything bother him. You gonna tell me Draymond runs you out of town? Get out of here, man.
Yeah.
of all people, a dude that can't even average 20 points a night. I mean, if Draymond need to turn on, he can turn on. But Draymond damn Green of all the people.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, I forgot who I'm talking. I'm talking about a guy that hits behind that had a burner Twitter account and talking trash. So this is expected diva fragile behavior. Kevin Durant,
Yeah.
the hell out of here.
All right, be live.
Well, let me finish this off with my final pepper point, man. I got to take it back to the home, North Myrtle Beach. Them
Woo!
Chiefs.
Hey.
Once a chief, always a chief.
Always a chief.
Going all the way across the state. I would say, what, about 3.5 hours away? All the way.
Yeah, where is that school
North
at?
Augusta.
Okay.
In North Augusta. In the first round of the high school playoffs, 4A. Double overtime, and the Chiefs come out with a victory, 38-31. Double overtime, man, oh man. So I am so excited. And now, what you've all been waiting for, and the next, because the Chiefs don't have to travel far at all this time, because it'll be the cross-city rival, Myrtle Beach Seahawks, North Myrtle Beach Chiefs,
Ooh.
Doug Shaw Memorial Stadium. It's about to go down. You might have gotten the first game, but this time it's going to be something completely different. Let's go Chiefs. Let's get it.
Myrtle Beach Seahawks, we coming for you. Oh, my bad. I had a little. Oh, yeah. Also, shout out to the Lady Chiefs volleyball team of North Myrtle Beach for winning back-to-back state championships in volleyball.
Right on. Congratulations.
CBI, why did they wait to do all this winning?
I don't know, man.
And hey, guys, I don't want to change the subject. Well, actually, I do. I don't know if you guys saw it. We had a super nice compliment from Matty Ice on Facebook this past week. Martin Tracy. He was sharing with us that he shared our podcast with some other people, and they were all talking sports, and he just paid us a really nice compliment, and we just appreciate that a lot. And Pete, Max, you guys always compliment us, and we appreciate everybody out there for sticking with us. It's our 35th episode. There's a lot for us to learn from and grow from, as Dak Prescott would say. We're going to watch the film, we're going to listen to the tape, and we're going to do our best to get better. So, but thank you guys for sticking by us through this many episodes.
Yeah, we greatly appreciate it, man. I did see those. Like I said, man, share. If you listen to us on iTunes, write a review, give us 5 stars. I mean, we understand the importance of audience retention, and we need your help. As far as like, hey, you guys should do this, you guys should do that. Just like Corey Turner last night gave us an idea. What in the hell? Shout out to Corey. The idea was about
I saw. Dang.
About blown referee calls or something like some of the worst calls in the history of bad calls.
Yeah, like that.
Oh, there's gonna be a choices of voices topic right there. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like bad calls, and so whenever you
that pass interference call on Aaron Rodgers yesterday, man. Like, Jesus.
Jerome Booger.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry, I had to get that off my chest when I couldn't wait for the choices. That was terrible, god awful, and probably every other pass interference, not pass interference, but roughing the passer call these past couple of years with these pillowed, charming, soft, freaking Tom Brady-esque quarterbacks, but they can hit my quarterback all in the head.
He about to cuss, Scott. He's about to cuss. He about to cuss. We got one brewing.
Happy Veterans Day.
Yeah, happy Veterans Day. Happy Veterans Day. And shout out to the veterans that listen to us. We appreciate you. I don't know about everybody else, but we here at Sports Bros Podcast. We thank you, veterans, for all that you have done, all that you will do, and good God, just thank you. Sorry, just thank you. And also thanks to our listeners for their interactions, their suggestions. Just like I said, if you want to be like JR and get on the show, hey, leave us a voicemail box, and who knows, we'll add you on the show too. We'll take any and every idea at this point. Any and every idea at this point, because we're at episode 35, right?
Yeah, 30. Right.
Yeah, episode 35. I don't know why I got listed as 36. But we got episode, 35 in, and we're getting close to 40 over 11,000 plays. This is great. This is great. I had no idea we'd get to this point when me and Scottie D first had this idea, and added B Live along back in December. Had no idea we'd get to this point. Never, ever, 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 ever. But we want to thank you.
We're getting to 40, just like Eddy Kool is in age. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, you ain't too far behind. Watch my.
I'm older than you, fool.
OLD. OLD. I know I'm gonna get you for your next birthday. I'm gonna get you a can of WD-40.
Kiss my ass. All right.
All right. With that being said, there was another round of pepper, and
You're gonna have fun editing this.
I love it. And B Live's invitation is gonna fall on their ears, brother. But anyways, with that being said. This is another episode of the Sports Bros Podcast. Thank you for listening. And as always, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I forgot. Scottie D, where can they reach you?
Come check me out, Beast Ninja, 501, and come see me at Wild Wing Cafe for some trivia on Wednesday nights in Barefoot Landing. Thank you.
You're not going to be at Booyahs?
And Booyahs. Buoys on Mondays at 6 o'clock. Booyah.
Nice.
Yeah. Check out Money Man Scottie D. The best trivia host in the world, Craig.
Nice.
The best trivia host in the world. Be Live, where can they catch you? See what I did there, Scott? See what I did there? Yeah.
Hey, you can find me on the cool side of the pillow. No, I'm playing. I'm going back to sleep. Anyway, now you can find me in St. Louis. Nope, you can't do that either. All right. You can find me at Max Speed Shop. I'm the bar manager there. We got 57 beers on tap, over 200 bottles of cans of beer, full bar, the best pulled pork barbecue brisket this side of the Mississippi and on the other side and all of that. You can find me there, 482 North McPherson Church Road here in Fayetteville, North Kakalaki. You can also find me on the social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Sports Bros Podcast, you can find us on Twitter and Instagram. Sports Bros PCast on Twitter, Sports Bros Podcast on Instagram. Very active on Instagram, still trying to grow with that. Got funny memes, what happened memes. You can find me on Facebook on Wednesdays with What Happened Wednesdays. Man, I love doing it. Love it. Keep it coming to you, man. And keep supporting us. I'm still working on the YouTube thing. I'm a little behind with YouTube. But we're going to keep you with fresh material from here on out. Sports Bros Podcast. Yes, sir.
That's it. And also, we got the WordPress and other forms of social media. We out there.
Hey, before we go, I just saw a sad note come across the sports line. But former Lions wide receiver Charles Rogers passed away at age 38. He was the second pick of the 2003 draft. He looked like a surefire stud coming out of Michigan State. And I haven't seen the details yet, but 38 years old is too young to go. So our condolences.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, our condolences to Charles Rogers. I remember they had him doing a commercial. And, yeah, man. So sad, man. Goes to show, man, tomorrow ain't promised. Take care of yourselves and do the best you can day in and day out, man. Day in and day out. Eddy Kool, me, the HOC, yeah, I'm all over the internet. I'm everywhere. I'm all over the place, baby. What are you doing? You can find me on Facebook at our Facebook like page, the Sports Bros Podcast. Also, the YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Sports Bros PCast. The WordPress is still working as well, too. Might have some big things going on with the YouTube going on as well soon. So just stay tuned. Cool Season on Instagram, Cool Season all one word. Snapchat if you do that thing. Super Cool 5000. Or you can just hit me up at 281-330-8. No, I can't do that, really. I'm not going to get my phone number. You think I'm crazy. But, yeah, that's where you can find me at Anything Sports Bros Podcast. I'll be there. I'll come back like bad breath in the morning. All right. With that being said, it's been another episode of Sports Bros Podcast. And in closing, do something nice for yourself. Please do something nice for yourself. And if you can, do something nice for someone else. They'll greatly appreciate it. It's been another episode of the Sports Bros Podcast. Thanks for listening.
Have your pet spayed or neutered. Oh, I'm sorry. Wrong. Yes.
He gonna come get us. Hey, your boy's been using my line. Bob, we just trying to keep the tradition going, play. That's all we trying to do.
Later.